Alright, what's going on? It's been a little while since I've actually filmed one of these that I've posted. I actually filmed this very video just yesterday, and when I started editing, I just didn't like a fucking thing about it. So we're gonna look at the same 5 records again, which I'm not thrilled by. And actually, I just fucking realized I didn't even get them out. So I'm gonna get them off the shelf, I guess, just as I talk about them. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. As you can see, I'm in a new location. Kaylee and I bought a house. So we've been moving, which is, as I'm sure everyone knows, an absolute nightmare. We're just starting to get to the point to where we're settling down a bit. We still have to wait for furniture and shit for the second living room. This music room, living room here, is almost done. We're gonna mount a TV, and we want to build a mantle for above the fireplace. But besides that, this room is almost done. So we've made a lot of progress, done a lot of painting. But that takes up a lot of time, so that's why it's been a little while since you guys have gotten one of these videos. So yeah, I guess we'll just get into it so we don't ramble forever. So what we got going in the background: Judas Iscariot of Great Eternity, obviously. And the first thing that we're going to talk about here is in contention for like the holy grail of my collection, and that's this. This is the Coffin Shakers with We Are the Undead. I also just realized I didn't learn my lesson when I tried to film this yesterday and I had to deal with this fucking glare. So this is the debut album from the Coffin Shakers from all the way back in 1999. And what the Coffin Shakers have made clear is that they are never in a hurry to release new music. Apparently, if you ask the band on Facebook, even to this day, they still say they're working on new music and they're working on represses. They said the same thing when I messaged them back in 2015. So, yeah, I wouldn't hold your breath. Now, them taking their time releasing new music, of course, is not a bad thing. Both of the full-length albums that this band has put out has been absolute 10 out of 10 records. And that doesn't come when you rush your music. So, you know, I get it, and I'd rather wait for a better record, but god damn it, dude, it's been 13 years. Anyway, like I said, this album came out back in 1999, and this is the, not the first release from the Coffin Shakers. I think there was a couple EPs or demos or whatever before the debut. This is a much, almost friendlier sounding record than the second album. And this one's a bit harder to, I would say it's a bit harder to get your hands on, but it's also a bit harder to just hear because as far as I know, it's not on Spotify. Most of the songs were removed from YouTube for whatever reason. I don't know how else you can hear this besides owning either the record or the CD. But if anybody does know of a way, maybe just post it in the comments so other people can give it a shot, because this shit is fucking awesome. I don't know that I prefer it to the second album. The second album is just a bit, like I said, it's just a bit darker. But there's some really, really good songs on here, including some songs that are sort of familiar just to the fact that they were on the compilation that came out later. Like the song Black Sunday or Pale Man in Black. The song Until the End, I believe, was on that compilation as well. But there are some really, really good tracks on this one. My favorites are No Rest for the Wicked, You Call It Graveyard, I Call It Home, Dark in My Heart, which is a cover song, The Night Side of Life. There's some like spoken word interludes on the back half of this record that are fucking fantastic. But yeah, there's the album cover. You should have the guys hanging out in the woods, and all the track listing on the front of the record, which I think kind of makes it look like an older album, which is pretty cool. You have the old stereo thing here at the top right corner. The back cover right there has the track listing again, and it's got a write-up, kind of almost like an ad for this album and the Coffin Shakers in general, which I will read to you because it's quite cool. It says, if you love weird things like The Lady at the Right, you'll not want to miss this album by the Coffin Shakers with its strange and mystic songs of the unnatural and the occult. It's vampires and werewolves and monsters and indescribable horrors. The Coffin Shakers combines the primitive basics of country and rock and roll with the grimness and melancholy of the gothic vampire legend to deliver their simple 3-chord songs and everything from slow-moving arrangements to fast-paced outbreaks of musical fury. No, they are not vampires, but the music of these four pale men in black might just put an even more sinister spell on your mortal soul than the curse of the undead. And as you can see, this was released through Primitive Art Recordings. These are hand-numbered. So according to the back of this jacket, I am victim number 620 out of 666. There was some copies of this that came with postcards and posters and shit. This one did not, which is fine with me, but it is just black vinyl. The labels are uninteresting, but this is absolutely one of the gems of my entire collection. I fucking love this record. I love this band. If a repress ever does happen, I'll hop on that as well. Just because this record is a little bit banged up from being 21 years old. Like I said, if you can find a way to actually play this record, do it, man. You won't regret it. Fucking fantastic. The Coffin Shakers, We Are the Undead.
You know, I've died so many times that I've grown tired of the church bells chime. The earth...
Alright, next up, we're going to talk about a band from Belarus. And I got the idea to talk about this band simply because they just announced a new album in the past few days. And, you know, they released a single and everything. And you can also pre-order the new album now, which I obviously already did. This is Molchat Doma with Itazi. I have no idea if that's how you pronounce it, but that's how I've seen it spelled, so just phonetically sounding it out, that's what I get. So this is the second album from 2018, following the debut that came out in 2017. And in my opinion, this is the far superior record. There is literally not a song on this album that doesn't make you want to fucking dance, and it's so much fun, it's so catchy. Despite the fact that the lyrics are not in English, so I can't make out a goddamn word this guy is saying. It absolutely takes nothing away from it. The vocals on this album are distant and reverbed. The atmosphere is dark, and it's got this just sort of 80s lo-fi cold wave sound. Like I said, every song is just packed full with extremely catchy moments, fun melodies. This is a 10 out of 10 record. And much like the debut album, they chose a building for the album cover. Just an architecturally interesting building, I guess. I don't know if there's a rhyme or reason to the buildings that they've chosen with their album covers thus far. But from what I understand, this is a hotel in, I want to say either the Czech Republic or Slovakia. One or the other, I don't quite remember. But I like it. The back cover is super simple, just the track listing. Put out through Sacred Bones Records. This is actually the most recent repress from this year, I think, maybe last year. And Sacred Bones is actually where you can pre-order the new record if you feel so inclined. And it doesn't come with fuck all. The vinyl is black and there's your labels. So the best way I know to sell this band is just to say that it's basically fucking perfect. It's an absolute blast, and if you ain't heard it, you're missing out. Molchat Doma, Itazi. Alright, we're gonna do a U-turn and head back into country music territory. This is one of the albums that I knew was coming out this year that I was most excited for. This is Colter Wall with Western Swing and Waltzes and Other Punchy Songs. So, I've talked about some of the Colter Wall material on this channel before. I have all of it. I have Songs of the Plains, which I haven't spoken about in one of these videos yet, though I probably will eventually. And I also have the Colter Wall and the Scary Prairie Boys, the 7-inch that was released back in 2019, I think. But this is the third full-length album, and Colter Wall has definitely made a bit of a change in the sound of the music for this record. And to be honest, it's not exactly the direction that I'd like to see Colter Wall going in. That being said, this record is fantastic, and I really love every song on it. And if I had to put a tack in what it was about this album that doesn't hit me quite like the other two have, I think it's the absence of the very deep Colter Wall voice, which that's exactly what drew me in to begin with Colter Wall. And that's basically gone from this record. Now, Colter Wall still has a fantastic voice, whether or not it's super deep. That's just what I prefer. But like I said, this is a great record with a bunch of great songs on it. Specifically, the second song, I Ride in Old Paint, Leavin' Cheyenne. There's a cover of Marty Robbins' Big Iron, which is fucking awesome. The song High and Mighty is another one of my favorites. And Talkin' Prairie Boy, which is kind of like, I don't know, I guess call it spoken word, but it's like a story. Which is really cool. If you can kind of imagine almost how like A Boy Named Sue, it sort of has like that vibe to it. Though the story is not quite as interesting. But it's a great record, man, and you know, I really have no complaints other than that. So yeah, fantastic. I like the album cover. I like the very simplistic approach here all the way around. Again, you have the little stereo logo up top. There's the back cover right there. You have a picture of Colter Wall and all of the track listing. This one is a bit heavier on the covers than previous records have been, because like half of these songs are not Colter Wall songs. But you just have credits and shit. This was released through 30 Tigers. You can actually still get this. You can't get this version anymore, or maybe you can, I don't remember. But the gatefold just has a bunch of pictures, and it's a bunch of pictures of cows, and I like the sort of old, looks like almost old advertisement style artwork, which is quite cool. Just like cattle branding shit. Really cool. This one also, like, you could beat somebody to death with this jacket. Super sturdy, thick spine, very nice. I think the regular editions of this one were just like in a pocket jacket, but I don't quite remember, and I don't own one, so I couldn't tell you for certain. But this does come with a fold-out lyric sheet, which is just the lyrics. Also, nice touch, on the inside, it's got like cattle branding symbols, which is quite cool. This is the deluxe edition, so it includes a sticker, a patch, which is cool, and it's also been pressed on, I think it was described as brown vinyl, which it kind of is, but it's like translucent, so it almost looks like gray, but it's quite nice. But yeah, man, if you like old Western style country music, then this record is just about perfect for you. Yeah, really good one, man. Always excited to see what Colter Wall does next, though, you know, I am afraid that eventually there will come a day where a record is released that I don't like, but not just yet. So yeah, check it out if you're interested, man. That's Colter Wall with Western Swingin' Waltzes.
I'm leaving Cheyenne, going to Montana to buy old paint.
Alright, so up until I pulled it out yesterday, I kind of assumed I wouldn't ever talk about this record. And that's simply because this is so far from anything I've ever talked about on this channel, just in terms of like style, that I just kind of figured nobody would be interested in it. But I really like this record, and I've been, you know, playing it more now, and it's definitely been a grower for me, because the first few times I heard it, I was not a fan. And that is this. This is Turnover with Altogether. So I have talked about a Turnover record before, the album Peripheral Vision, which came out 2015, I think. And I don't think this is the follow-up. I think there was a record in between this and that. But this is the fourth album. And like I said, when I first heard it, I wasn't a fan, but I wanted to check it out because it was the first thing that Turnover released since I was clued into their music. And even though I didn't like the other material this band had put out, I was curious anyways. And that is in part due to the fact that I really like this album cover. I like the sort of aesthetic here, this sort of 80s music video imagery almost. At least that's what it reminds me of. And I don't know if I'm thinking of something specific or not, but that's just what I get from it. Yeah, and this motherfucker's neck is like hella long too. So I really like the album cover. The back is, you know, again, just very 80s looking. And musically, that's kind of what this is. It's sort of like a take on like 80s dream pop, maybe? And I'm not really the authority on this shit because I have no idea what dream pop is, but that's what I've heard this described as. And just in terms of the name dream pop, I think this probably would fit pretty snugly into that category. But the atmosphere here is so interesting. Like the very beginning, the very first song, I think it's called Still in Motion. The way it opens, it sounds like it was kind of recorded live, and it sounds like it was recorded live in like an empty jazz club or something. It starts with like horns, and you hear the guy's voice, and it sounds like it was recorded in like a big empty room. And you know, then the song actually kicks in, but it's such a cool way to start the record. And, you know, the music itself throughout the record is just very colorful in its vibe and atmosphere. So you saw the album cover. It does come with like an obi strip, but it's got an inner sleeve of more of that same imagery, which I really, really like, man. I don't know how to describe it, but it's very, very interesting. Just sort of color blocked, like distorted photographs of people standing or dancing or something. So cool. You got all the lyrics on the other side. If I had to choose any favorite songs Still in Motion. Number on the Gate is another one of my favorites. Ceramic Sky, Valley of the Moon, Much After Feeling. Super cool. And the record that I actually ended up with is basically the perfect color for you know, this album, at least to match the other art. Purple, which is quite cool. I have no idea what the limitation was. I didn't look it up, and it's not specified anywhere on the jacket. So yeah, man, I mean, if for some fucking reason, like brightly colored 80s dream pop, if it sounds interesting to you, then you may get something out of this record. If not, I totally fucking get it, because it certainly doesn't seem like something I would like either. And this one definitely hasn't sort of stolen my heart like Peripheral Vision did. But that's a very dark record, and this is literally the fucking opposite. So I commend Turnover's ability to sort of dabble in different styles and sounds. And I don't have anything else in my collection quite like this. So really cool. Check it out if you're interested. Turnover altogether. Another pedal on the floor. When they're all gone, desire more. Alright, let's finish this shit off with one of my favorite albums to come out this year. This is Rope Sect with The Great Flood. So I've been following Rope Sect very closely since they released their very first material back in 2017. Now, between now and then, there hasn't been much. There was the Persona Ingrata EP, I guess, and then they did the Proselytes, I think that's what it was called, EP. That was just like a 7-inch. Besides that, there's only been like singles, so they did like Handsome Youth, which is still my favorite Rope Sect song. And they just did a newer one called Lava. But besides those first two releases from back in 2017, this is the only thing since then to actually get pressed on any physical format. And it comes in the form of Rope Sect's debut album. And I've been looking forward to a Rope Sect full-length album since I first heard it. So 2020, here we are, now we have it. And I fucking love this record. I would say my favorite song on here is the song High Wraith, which is the first single that was released. It's super fucking catchy, man. I love the chorus for that song. But Floodflower, along with the song Prison of You, the vocals were done by the guy who sings for Grave Pleasures, same guy who did like the Beast Milk stuff as well. I don't really like that there's two songs that were sung, I think entirely by the guy from Grave Pleasures. I just think it's weird that it's like a recurring thing, you know, because he's got a good voice, but I much prefer the normal vocalist for Rope Sect, and I'm not really sure why they had him on for two songs, but they're good songs regardless. The song Floodflower specifically is a really good one. But yeah, man, I'm fucking stoked to finally have a Rope Sect record, full length anyway. It's got a great fucking album cover. Just sort of plays deeper into like the lore of what the rope sect is supposed to be. A very, very cool story. But yeah, the album cover is awesome. Back cover is very simple. This was released on Iron Bonehead, of course. But you have like a noose and shit on the back. You can see this record came in a bit fucked up, especially up there. It doesn't bother me too much. I don't really care. But it does include a lyric sheet, which I like the hand coming out of the water. It's quite cool. Then you just have some credits and shit on the other side. The vinyl is black, but I am gonna show you the labels because they're really, really cool. Yeah, there you go. Hands on one side, feet on the other. I love it. But this also includes a poster, which again is a guy with like rope wrapped around his head. Yeah, man, an absolutely fucking awesome entry into the Rope Sect discography. Their debut album is in fact a success. Like I said, it's up there with my favorite things to be released this year. So if you ain't heard of Rope Sect, which I find hard to believe, I think everybody watching this has probably heard of Rope Sect. But if you ain't heard the Great Flood, man, you're missing out. Check it out, badass.
This life of wasted feelings, it's not the time to pass it on.
So 5 more non-metal records. I have fun filming them. You guys seem to enjoy watching them as well. So next time, I already have some shit pulled out that's gonna be like themed, I guess, around a genre that I've never really delved too deeply into on this channel before. So I think that's what I'll do next. So hopefully that works out nicely, but who knows. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for sticking around, and we'll be back soon, guys. Later.